So as discussed previously, we have to look at two different topologies, right? Based on the problem which we have. One is about classification problem, and the second one is about regression problem. So let's jump into the very first topology, that is classification problem topology. So when it comes to classification, we have different inputs, and based on the different inputs, we have to decide different classes. In other ways, we have different input attributes. We have to group them, or we have to match them to one of the classes in the output. So this is how a classification problem topology looks like. So the term topology is nothing but the way of arrangement of perceptrons. So as I mentioned, there will be two layers. That is, these two layers are the special layers, right? So it will be input layer and the output layer. So the input layer have three, or like say the number of inputs which we have. So attribute 1, attribute 2 and attribute n. So it may be n number of inputs, but now task is to segregate or match these inputs to one of the classes present in the output. So the input perceptron will receive the input signals and process the data and segregate it to the particular output signal. So suppose, say I have given an attribute 1, it has been received by the input perceptron, it has processed and given the result to the output perceptron. So the output, if the output value, if it is 1, then that particular attribute will belongs to class 1. Suppose the output signal after processing from the input signal is 0, then it will belongs to either class 2, class 3, class 4 or class 5, etc. So but one thing is clear, it will be definitely does not belonging to the class 1. Similarly to the attribute 2 as well, attribute n as well. So it's just a classification problem in order to classify whether this particular attribute belongs to this particular class or not. And that decision is taken from the output signal after processing from the input signal. If the accumulation of the signal or that total sum up value is greater than 0, that is equals to 1, then particular input signal value belongs to that particular class. Otherwise, it does not belongs to that class. So this is how a classification problem topology will be looking like. So at a given point of time, it will be consisting of a input layer, output layer, and it will be consisting of different number of input signals and as many number as the number of classes in the output layer as well. Here I have represented with only the two layers, right? So the input layer and the output layer. Practically we have other n number or like certain number of layers present in between these two input and output, and those layers are called as hidden layers. We will decide and we will discuss what are these hidden layers and why are those hidden layers required other than the input and the output layers in the further sessions.